Good morning. It is 6:59 a.m. on Thursday, June 9th, 2022. This is a special meeting of the Elks Public School District Board, and we're in the Elks Public Schools conference room, as well as several people joining by Zoom. Let's stand to say the Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, so this is a special meeting, so we need to stay with the agenda. First item on the agenda is Dr. Steve Johnson Consulting Agreement. For background, Sheila and I, along with Tom, met with Dr. Johnson on Tuesday at about 5 o'clock. We spent an hour and a half or so together talking about his qualifications, our needs, the situation in Elks Public Schools, and he was kind enough to join us here this morning so that he can introduce himself a bit more and answer any questions. I think it's fair to say Sheila and I recommend that we engage his services to help us create our leadership plan going forward and define that as it goes along, potentially even in a long-term superintendent search, just depending on how we proceed in the near term. So with that, I'll introduce Dr. Stephen Johnson. He's in a little square up there at the top, and I don't know if he starts talking, if his square gets big or what happens.
Good morning. As Sonia said, I'm Steve Johnson. I've served as superintendent in Lisbon, North Dakota for 28 years, from 1993 until 2021. I'm still serving as superintendent in Fort Ransom, which is a small elementary district, K through 6. We have 22 students there. One of the things that I have done over the last number of years is I've become somewhat considered an expert in the area of small rural schools, school partnerships. I've spoken both internationally and nationally at different conferences about planning and retention and recruitment of teachers, Rural Teacher Corps, and a number of other things. My background, pretty simple. I'm originally from Lisbon, came back to my hometown after being gone for 20 years. I got my undergraduate degree at Concordia College in Moorhead. My graduate degree, my master's and my specialist from NDSU Tri-College, and my PhD from the University of North Dakota. I've spent the last 45 years in education right here in the great state of North Dakota, serving the last 29 years right in my home area. On the side, I have a little farming business. My brother and I run some cattle. So I'm not too far from Cary, kind of a neighbor there. We have some cows there, the Haugans, not too far away. That's my whole thing. I'm not going anywhere. I'm here to stay. But I think I can, talking with Sonia and Sheila, I think I can offer you some services and at least sit down with the staff and the community and to find out what kind of direction you'd like to go here in the fall of 22. Any questions that you may have of me?
What kind of time frame would this entail an amount of time do you anticipate it would be as far as billable hours, to have an idea of what
I'd say in total hours here to begin with, depending on what direction it goes. And I've already tried to schedule a meeting with your staff on Tuesday of next week. Because the fact of the matter is that school's going to start in August and there's kids going to be here and we're going to have buses running. So regardless of what may be or may not be happening, I think the staff needs to be prepared and ready to go in August for that. So I would say the total that we're probably looking at is no more than 10 to 15 hours at the very beginning. If it gets to be more than that, most certainly I'll be coming to the board. I think it's pretty important that I keep this board pretty much involved in what's taking place.
Just for, in case I don't remember what I shared with you, but in case I didn't or you forgot, Dr. Johnson has quoted us a rate of $250 an hour plus expenses. He met with us, as I said, I think for about an hour and a half, drove down here. And he's very efficient. He's already presented us with an invoice for that first meeting. So I feel very comfortable with him and his experience. I feel very blessed that he's nearby and willing and able to help. He seems to know just what we need, just the approach to take. And I will support engaging him for at least the short term to get us on a direction, at least to get it started for the first, for the upcoming school year.
I just think that, you know, his willingness to meet with the staff and try to create some sort of a plan for the short term is phenomenal. And he's not wasting any time for us. I think it's a win-win actually.
Any other questions? If not, is there a motion to engage Dr. Stephen Johnson in a consulting agreement to create at least a short-term leadership plan for the district?
I would think that.
Nagel moves to approve a consulting agreement with Dr. Stephen Johnson. Is there a second?
A second.
Heimbach seconds. Is there any discussion? Is there any discussion? Is there any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed say no. The motion passes. The next item on the agenda is an attorney consultation, and this item may be and will be discussed in an executive session should the board approve that. The legal authority for closing this portion of the meeting is North Dakota Century Code Section 4404-19.1, paragraph 2. And the topic or purpose of this executive session is an attorney consultation. At this time, a motion would be in order to discuss this, to have this attorney consultation in executive session rather than in an open meeting. Is there such a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Heimbach moves. Is there a second?
Second.
Rosendahl seconds. Is there any discussion? Is there any discussion? Any discussion? I'll call the roll. Rosendahl,
Yes.
Thorpe,
Yes.
Nagel,
Yes.
Heimbach,
Yes.
Neal votes yes. Motion passes 5-0. The executive session will be recorded. All members of the board are reminded to limit your discussion during the executive session to the announced topic. Any collective decision, commitment, or other final action by the governing board must occur after it reconvenes in an open meeting unless final action is specifically required by law to be taken during the executive session. The prohibition on taking final action during the executive session does not apply to providing guidance or instructions to our attorney or a negotiator. So I'll ask now that all except board members leave the room. I would anticipate we will take at least 30 minutes to have conversation with our attorney. I'm going to ask also that Tom leave. Carrie, I'm going to reserve the right to ask Tom to come in if it's acceptable to the board at that time, if we have any questions for him. And also I would like to ask if Dr. Johnson could stay with us. I might have him share something with you as well. All right, with that, we will end the recording and cancel. Cancel. No, I'm not that good at it.
It's
Oh,
recording.
it's recording. Okay, and ending the audio recording. All right. Somebody want to go open the door, please?
I'll open this one. I'm not going to do the garage door.
All right, the Oaks Public School Board is back in open session after. Oh, there you are.
No, it's-
Oh, that one. Got it. Like that. Yep, yep.
Right, our executive session has ended. So that's the end of our agenda, and I declare this meeting adjourned at 8:09.